here on the channel. Hello. We're mid talking about Taylor Swift. She's here today, actually.
In Illinois?
Yeah. I'm meeting with Jordan from Whoa. I'm like sounding Canadian. I have a Canadian coworker, so when she says sorry, it like makes me say it the same way. Sorry booked solid. And because she's gonna go see Taylor Swift. So I'm gonna meet her like right after this.
That's amazing. I hope you have fun.
We're just gonna go to Half Price Books and go book shopping. So excited. I was gonna ask her to go to Portillo's with me, but she's already having it as we speak. So anyway, hello everyone. Happy full moon. We're here with Bree. You want to introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Bree. I do have a channel, Bree Cherie Reads, where I just do a bunch of sprints. Honestly, the last 6 months has been nothing but sprints. So,
really, it's been that long?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, at least you're still doing sprints. I mean, everyone loves your productivity sprints. So.
It's so much fun to just interact live and have conversations. So, yeah.
I can't believe it's been 6 months. What?
I would even say that it's probably been, I had a seasonal job that kept me really busy, so I wasn't posting videos. So I would honestly say that it was 8 months.
No, didn't you? Isn't your birthday in December?
Yeah, and I posted one video in December.
I remember that. Okay, so
one video.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we're talking about Cathryn House. Woo-hoo. Yeah. So this one was a wild ride, very confusing. I'm excited to see what you think. I hope you understood it more than I did. I was really banking on your brain cells.
Look, I think if you are character driven and like confusion, then this is the book for you. I honestly believe that. I enjoyed the author's writing as far as how vivid she was and descriptive she was with the writing. I really felt like I was there in the house.
Yeah.
In the forest and the woods. I felt like, like I was there. I could see it. I could picture her room. I could picture, her hanging out. The food that they were given, like, what the fuck?
Dude, listen, I thought there was going to be something in the, I don't want to go into spoilers, but it's not in the food is all I'm going to say. I thought it was going to be something in the food because I've read way too many culty books where it's in the things that they give them at this facility. And yeah, too many. I was like, no, not again. But it wasn't, thank God. But what did you rate it? I'm going to try to use banners for this live show. We're going to try a little bit more structure.
I rated it 3 stars.
Okay. Tell us in the comments also what you guys rated it. So 3 stars. I gave it 4. But like kind of a low 4. But I don't know. Have you read Bunny?
I haven't.
No. Okay, because this one gave me the same feelings as I got when I finished Bunny. It was like confusion, like what the fuck, but I think I liked it, question mark. So yeah, it was weird for sure. Also, okay, can we just talk about the whole plasm thing? So I have a banner for just plasm, literally just plasm. And my thing is, if the character was confused, how the hell are we supposed to know what's going on?
Right.
Like literally at almost the very end, the main character was like, I still don't know what plasm is. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know?
Yeah, absolutely. It just seemed like this living organism that was able to do things, everything, be everything and help everyone. And it just, I don't know. I
don't get it. I don't know why I remember someone saying in their review of this book that like like the walls were like skin and like turning into something. Maybe I'm thinking of a different book, but I was fully waiting for that to happen, but none of that happened. Let's see other people's ratings. Hello everyone. Thank you for coming. Hi. Joey, love you too. He's getting a haircut right now. Just after 3 a.m. here. Damn, the dedication. Hello, Anna. I want to say I gave it a 4, might have been a 5, but I'm mixing things up.
Yeah, it's definitely a high 3 for me. On Storygraph, I rated it a 3.5. It was a good book. I enjoy books that have confusion, but the ending, I was like, usually you get it at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually it just makes sense at the end, and the ending was like even more confusing.
Yeah, like I don't mind an open-ended ending, but I also wanted answers specifically for this book.
Right.
Like I had so many questions. I wanted at least some of them answered, and none of them were. Here for the vibes, like the vibes. The vibes were definitely there. Did you listen to the audio?
Yes, I did.
All right. Yeah. So
I did.
First of all, it was super slow. Like I was at a 3 times speed, and it sounded like 2.1 max. Like I was so confused. I was like, I can't even imagine what this sounds like in normal speed. But but it was good. It added to the creepy vibes, the whole chanting and everything.
No, the chanting was, I loved it. Yeah. I was eating it up. And then when she got put into the center and she was like saying it herself, I'm in the house, the woods, I'm in the woods near the house. And I was like, girl, you are in the house. Like you are in, okay?
Yeah, and the voices that the narrator used for Victoria specifically, like extra creepy. I thought it would be the food of that. Exactly, yep. But it wasn't. 4 stars, 2 stars. I feel like so much happened, but also, yeah, nothing really happened.
Nothing truly. No plot twist of, things didn't just get chaotic. And I was hoping Cathryn house would blow up at the end. Like, none of it. So.
Like, she would, like, make you think something's gonna happen and then, like, edge you.
Psych, motherfucker.
Yeah, and then it would change scene. Like all those page breaks, changing scenes, I was getting whiplash. I was like, what is happening? How did we get here? Hello, Amanda. It was similar to Bunny vibes. Okay, breathe, Jan. I haven't had coffee today yet, but I liked Bunny more. I also just read the Honeys, and now I'm mixing them up a little. That's fair. I heard the Honeys is like strange and yeah.
I just bought that book, so I might read it.
I do want to read it this month for Pride Month too. Give it 3 stars. Gave it 3 stars, but almost gave it a 2. That's fair, honestly. I don't blame you. Yeah. Give it 3.5. Agree with Bree. The writing was excellent. Narrative style and short bits each. Also, can we talk about the long chapters? Like, so unnecessary.
Right? Like,
why was it 40 pages long for each chapter? I like that, but I need a stronger plot. Understandable. It's like it mends things together, like energy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. But it's not like, is it like a how did Elizabeth Thomas even like come up with that? Like what the and so is it like a tangible thing? Or is it like just the stuff that they like transmit through the pins? Okay, sorry. Spoilers.
I think it's something that transmits through the pens, like this living organism that they inject. And they're in a trance the whole time.
So it was basically like a drug. It was like brainwashing them.
Yes. That's how I took it. Like a drug that was brainwashing them to, I don't know, submit to Cathryn house. I don't do something.
Yeah. So there was one of my favorite parts. Okay, one of my favorite characters was Yaya. I think she was my favorite character throughout the whole time. Throughout the whole thing, she was my favorite character. And there was one part when she like gave her a hardcore reality check.
Yes.
Like, listen, you're going crazy. Because like, okay, so not Cathryn, what the fuck's her name? Inez was like trying to get recruited. Or no, Victoria was like, you can be a plasm student. And she was like, ooh, maybe I can. Because I have nowhere to go. Like, I can stay here for another 3 to however many years. And then so she tells Yaya, and Yaya goes, the fuck? Like, the reason the reason we are here is because we have nowhere to go. And they know that, and they feed on our vulnerability. And so that was like one of my favorite parts of the book.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And it's funny because throughout the book, after the first time that they were injected or had the plasma, they kept acting like nothing happened, right? And then Yaya was like, bitch, reality check, like you could leave here. You don't have to be here longer. And really told her about herself. And she was leaving like, why would you even want to stay? You haven't even thought about leaving. You haven't even made plans. And she was like, I thought about graduation. Like, I'm not talking about this anymore.
Yeah, so they all had basically.
We all need a friend like Yaya.
Huh?
I said we all need a friend like Yaya.
Exactly. The one who keeps us grounded. Because everyone in this story, if you didn't read it or if you're just here vibing, everyone basically had like family problems or just nowhere to go and would rather be at Cathryn house to feel like purpose and shit. Yeah. So that was that on that. No idea what plasm is. Same. I don't think anyone does. It was more of a 2 or 3 for me. The ending, same. The ending pissed me off. Like, what ending? Like, what happened? They were in daisy crowns and walking down the aisle, and then all of a sudden she's on a truck. And I'm like, how did we even get there?
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Brandy.
Hi, Brandy.
Brandy, you're next in Full Moon Book Club. I'm going to ask you soon. I definitely can see the similarities with Mona Awad's books, but I'm at least entertained in those books. I was bored in this. That's fair. I've only read Bunny. I still have to read All As Well. Have you read any Mona Awad?
I have not. I do own All As Well.
Okay. I'm excited for her next book, though. I think the audio would have made the creepiness hit more for me, for sure. Yeah, and it made it go by faster too. Helped me through those long chapters.
It was so the audio was really good. Even the part where Victoria was like, "You're in the house," like it just was so creepy.
That was so accurate. That sounded exactly like
you're in the house, like it. The house near the woods, like it just. I definitely recommend the audio. Just speed it up. Minimum 2.5.
Yeah, literally. It's so slow. Like, because she takes such long pauses between sentences and page breaks. And literally, even between chapters, especially, it's like 5 minutes. I'm like, did it pause? Where are we? Give it a 2 because I wanted to know the point of all this confusion, but it hooked me. So 3 it is. Yeah, it's definitely captivating. The writing style is captivating. Like some of the writing with the simplicity and nostalgic, cozy college vibes. Yeah. Yes. That had me question marks even after the ending. Same. Yeah. Me too. Okay, speaking of plot, there was the roommate situation.
With Baby.
I hated that she went by Baby, first of all.
Yeah. Creep me out. Like, and I guess that was a point, right? It's just like, what the fuck? Like, why are you a grown-ass woman named Baby and calling yourself Baby? But then, like, Inez would be like, sweet baby. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I heard this was queer, so is it a sapphic thing? But no, it was just like, that's what she called her. And it was like almost patronizing.
Very.
And I'm like, what age range are we in? I was so confused. But yeah, and then, spoiler, I'm going to pause. So Baby dies.
Baby dies.
And then Inez breaks into the lab thing where there are all these rabbits. And then she finds a case, like a 7-foot case. The fact that I remember this is wild to me. A 7-foot long case. And then she sees a little placard thing that says Baby's name on it. And then she finds out that Baby voluntarily made her body like like part of the experiment.
Yeah.
And I feel like we didn't get many answers about that either.
At all. Like
they started to talk about it. Like Victoria was like, no, she wanted this. Trust me. She wanted this. But like, what did she want?
What is this? What is the experiment? You never get the answers to it.
Yeah. At first, I thought they were turning the people into bunnies. I was like, I kind of hope that this is the thing. Because what's the point of all these bunnies?
Exactly. Oh, gosh.
At one point, I thought Sandy, Aleksandra, whatever, was a bunny. But it was an actual person. It was like the first guy. that they or the first human that they experimented on? It was a girl, right? I don't remember if Alexander Sandy was a guy or
boy.
I don't remember. But yeah,
there's so many unanswered questions of like, one, what is the product itself, and like, what are they doing? They're trying to make these. Victoria kept saying, he's great, isn't he? Like, he's wonderful, and Bunny or Baby will be one of those. And I'm like, but what is that? Like, what are we talking about? And just to submit to the school and like be all about the school is your life. Like, what are we talking about? And even then, like, why? You know, like,
yeah, I don't know if I like read too much into it or if it's just because I just read Babel or what, but like part of me was like, oh, maybe it's like a nod towards the whole like academia can fuck up your whole life, and like if you're so into it and just forget about everything else and just, you know, it like sucks you in and it's corrupt. It's a whole corrupt system. So that was part of it. And when I tried to look deeper into it, but I was going to look up analyses, but I got too lazy and I was like, let me just hear what Bree thinks.
Yeah.
Have you read Babel?
I did. And that, I was going to say, that's a great connection, because that's what this book, I think, was trying to do, is like, fuck your previous life. Like, whatever you went through, right? They take these broken people, or, you know, just vulnerable people, and bring them to Cathryn house and tell them you have no connection to your outside life. You have, you know, nothing, whatever your outside life was before, forget it. Like, and really just try to shape you into something and someone. And just kind of similar to Babel, where it's just like, school is your life. This is your life. That's all I got from Cathryn house, is like, you will become a whole different human being and live in a trance, and you would be successful after Cathryn house.
Yeah. I also thought it was so fucked up that they couldn't even like celebrate their birthdays, because that was part of a past life.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Yaya who was trying to have that birthday party? I can't remember. But
yeah, any of that. Just sleep, drink, and sleep with people, drink, and go to class.
There was also another, it just came to me, that one unanswered part where she was talking to Theo. So Theo's the love interest, everybody. She was talking to Theo, and then all of a sudden she starts bleeding out of nowhere from like her legs, her crotch.
Yeah, and then just sits there.
And then she's like, oh, I didn't have my period. And Theo goes, are you okay? And she's like, I'm fine. And then it moves on to next scene. I was like, we're not going to elaborate.
Nothing. Did she get up? Did she clean it? Like, what, you know, like, did you just leave a puddle of blood? Was it a miscarriage or was it a period? Like, you know, I have questions.
Yeah, I would have at least wanted that answered, because that was way too abrupt of a scene change. I was like, excuse me? Got me into all this. Yep. Check out my merch, but are the chapters short? Shameless plug. It's like energy. I think I'm thinking it's like Reiki and like acupuncture. That's fair with the pins. I don't know what Reiki is though. Do you? I don't know.
Like Reiki, movement of energy.
Oh yes. Okay, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Like, I've had it done once.
Okay. Yes, I know what you're talking about now. Okay. Yeah. So that whole like pins thing, I don't even know where to start with that. They like serve it on a tray,
right,
with like food or some drink, and they just stick it in their heads and shit. Like
their heads, their back, and their stomach. But even if it was acupuncture, like, how would that put them in a trance without injecting? Because there was a time where she said that she can still feel the pins in her head, but like if they're not injecting anything at all, then how does it make that much of an impact?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I don't know if it was said, if I missed it. I couldn't imagine what these pins looked like, if they were more like syringes or like little like freaking pins with a little head. And I didn't know like how long they kept it in their bodies. Like, did they just walk around with pins sticking out of them, or was it like a session? I know the first one was like a session.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first one was brought up. But then I feel like they were just randomly getting more pins. And And then they started sticking into, like, Inez started sticking it in herself, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So I'm not, I read that correctly.
Absolutely, because when she went to the center, they were like, we need to recalibrate you, basically. And that, because it didn't work the first time they fell. But I mean, I don't know if it's like acupuncture. I imagine it as like something that was being injected into them. Because like, how would they do that on a bunny or a mouse? Like, you know, they don't have the same system we have. So,
Oh God, those mouse sections. I was like, oh
God, the mouse was bleeding and they did it, and I was like, oh.
You know me and my phobia, so I'm like,
Right?
That was the horror for me. That was the most horrific part of this whole book. I felt there wasn't enough explanation to her past, and she was an unreliable narrator, which is fine. But I love a good unreliable narrator. I guess I didn't really think of her as one, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, she definitely was. Well, because of all the shit that they were putting in her brain, literally and figuratively. Loved Yaya. Yep, Yaya was great. Loved how extra. Yaya knew what was up. I was annoyed we never really got answers about Inez's background too. Yeah, I can't really. I got all of them mixed up.
They did say that, you know, what happened during the scene of like, you know, her being at a hotel with a guy and a girl, and the girl, she woke up and the guy was gone and the girl was still there, but she was dead. And that's when, I mean, there was like vomit there, and it was like a whole big.
Yeah, I did highlight
that. It was pretty vague on what happened because she was probably so high or so drunk that, you know, I have to assume.
Yeah, I was gonna say that just
it's on page 83.
Yeah, we just had to kind of infer what happened because, yeah, again, like I thought that was gonna get explained more later on. I was like, okay, we got a flashback. We're getting a little bit of answers, and then nothing.
And then psych.
Nobody.
The guy was pictures like, who is this guy? It says click, click, click. The man's camera, click, click, click. I remember his necklace.
Oh my God. Yeah. Who is that? We never got that. Yeah, that's creepy.
Like, you're so young. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was, yeah, I remember that. I dog-eared that actually. This is so funny, Jess. I fucking can't. Nobody puts baby in the plaza. Me too. The nickname already had me. Oh, damn. We're behind. The air quotes. I felt bad. Baby's name was so odd, but she was probably my favorite part of the start of the book. Yeah, she definitely gave it more dynamic.
She definitely did. And the author said that she wanted that, the opposite of Inez, where, you know, someone who was dedicated, someone who was, you know, just so interested in being in Cathryn house, where Inez was like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck those classes. Like, you know, and so both of them in the same room together, I mean, completely opposite people. She wanted that different dynamic.
Did you watch an interview or was that in the author's note?
That was in the author's note.
I should read that for at least my book club picks.
Girl, this is my first time reading the author's note because I usually don't even care unless it's Tanana review. Then I read her author's note because I'm like, you know, sometimes they're interesting. So
I just got sent that author's newest book.
Oh, really? The Wishing Pool? Or the Reform?
The one that starts with an R. Yeah, the orange one. This big. Yeah, it's all the way.
I'm so jealous. If you don't want it, send it my way.
Okay, deal. I don't know when I'm gonna get it.
Right.
It's floppy though.
It is. Yeah. And she's amazing. I love her.
I don't remember why I said I was interested in it. They like reached out to me and then I was like, oh, sounds right up my alley. But I've never read that author before. But I do want to read The Good House. Yeah.
Oh, The Good House is so good. And the first chapter is like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah. Do their books go by fast? Like even though they're like so big and intimidating? They go slow. Fuck. Well,
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's a good pace, but it does not go by fast at all.
damn. Well, good to know. A bit upsetting that the MC was convinced it was okay just because Baby agreed to it. True. She was like, "Are you sure?" And then she was like, "Okay."
Right. Like, no, that does not sound like something Baby would do at all.
Yeah. I really wish we found out what happened to her too. Like, so her body was just chilling in this case next to the rabbits. Like, I don't know. Sandy was a boy. How did people not know he was like dead or whatever? I think you. Okay, I don't even remember him being mentioned until she found out about him in the lab.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. I thought that was just
Yeah.
okay. Cool, because I thought he was like mentioned in the beginning or something, and I missed it. But I was like, let me just roll with it. But okay, that you're very much validating me right now.
Yes. No. I was like, Sandy, what the fuck?
I thought it was a rabbit. So they basically wanted functional zombies running around the school. That is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were in a trance for a lot of those years, for sure.
Yeah, it also did not feel like 3 years. I don't know if it's because I read it so fast or what, but it didn't feel like 3. I was like, what? Oh, and then the wedding?
Like that was so fucking random. They can get married there. It seemed like there's so much control happening with them as an individual, right? You can't talk to your parents. You can't call out. You can't leave campus. And then you allow a wedding? Like it was so random, but I get it. But it was like, there's a wedding happening on campus? Like,
but it was also right after that same guy, Diego, admitted that he was sleeping with one of the instructors or whatever.
That's true.
And then literally the next page, he was getting married to that one girl. I don't even remember her name. Was it? No, I don't remember. Who did he get married to? I don't remember.
Girl.
But also, okay, did you know why the audiobook was saying Ma instead of M?
No.
For the instructor?
No. When
Does anyone know?
I was like, I didn't understand it.
Yeah, okay. I thought I was just okay. Yeah, so the
in their name for the staff, like M and then her name. Like what how did you correlate that with Ma? Like
I know. I didn't know if I was hearing things, and then I was like, okay, this is a consistent thing. Let me know in the comments if any of you know what that's about. I was gonna do my research again. I was too lazy though. I didn't know if it was like a universally known thing in certain like academies or whatever, but I don't know. It does really show how they can suck people into cults of academia, religion, etc. Find broken people without family and convince them it'll make their life better. This sounds like I feel like there's a movie that I've seen where they like target vulnerable people. I just can't put my finger on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I've read another book like that.
I was so disturbed by the just non-consent. Like, come on. Did these people is this why? Yeah, and there's so many people that graduate and are successful in Cathryn House, but like, did we ask permission? Did they sign waivers? Like, was consent given, or they literally just sat there and just was like, no one said a thing because they didn't want to leave because of how vulnerable they were. Like, no one wanted to leave.
Yeah, the like process of admission was very confusing too. I think like I don't know if they were like how were they recruited? Like they were sent letters, I'm assuming, and then or something. But then like did they know when they arrived to Cathryn House that they had all these rules and shit?
Right.
Out after, and then the consent, like how were they like locked in before they knew all these rules? Like yeah.
Super disturbing.
I love how we're just all confused collectively.
Right.
They never explained how they were successful after graduate. Exactly. And the fact that they were wearing daisy crowns was even creepier. It reminded me of Midsummer. Have you watched that? The A24?
I have.
I just saw it recently for the first time. I liked it.
Yeah.
I think we're not going to elaborate. Could be this subtitle for this book. Slap a blurb on the front.
Facts. And this being a YA, like I take that in consideration because if this was an adult, I would have like.
Isn't it though?
I thought this was YA.
Okay, now I'm gonna look because I thought it was adult.
If it's an adult, I'm deeply disturbed.
I mean, the age range, yeah, is YA, but I feel like I've seen the adult section. I don't know. Let me see. Goodreads. It says adult on Goodreads.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm even more frustrated. Because I was going into this, I was like, oh, it's YA. Like, I'll give it grace. Like,
now we just unlock the whole
like, come on. HarperCollins. I have a problem.
Oh God, I didn't even know this was HarperCollins.
Mm-hmm.
This is Elizabeth Thomas's only book still. Damn.
I mean, you know.
I'm interested to see what else.
I'm interested to see what her day job is. It ain't this, okay?
I'm deceased. Because they never gave her heavier pads when she said her flow was heavy. Oh. So it was her period. But she said she's not on her period.
Yeah, she said it's not her period.
But yeah, that was another thing. They like she specifically asked for heavier pads. Yeah, that was messed up too.
That pissed me off.
What was the alternative? Or no, they just kept giving her thin pads.
Yeah.
Her 30 was pretty much just losing her time. Just her losing time in a tower. I thought that said shower at first.
Yeah, she spent the last semester in the tower after admitting that she, you know, let the bunny go. So,
yeah.
A whole semester? That's crazy. And she kept daydreaming, and she said something about waking up and everything was gray. Her body was gray. And I'm like, girl, you are really going through a manic episode right now because
yeah, and then the whole like everything is lovely here, you're lovely, and we're all lovely together. I was like,
how creepy.
Okay. Did we like Theo?
I enjoyed Theo until I didn't. I enjoyed him until he ratted it out. You know, I get it that he was in the tower, the center, or whatever we want to call it. And she was finally like, no, it was her. But the moment that he said, like, oh, she would be good for this, you lost me. Like, come on. You gave up your girlfriend because she didn't want to stay there. Nah.
Yeah. But also, I never felt like true chemistry between them. I was like, this is not going anywhere. Why are you staying for this man? Though it made sense to me because, like, why wouldn't they want to keep it inside the school? Maybe they thought there was better chance of them staying or breeding kids. But, like, the thing is, I didn't even know they were in a relationship at all. They just immediately got married.
It was so random to me.
I don't remember who it was. It was Diego and someone. I can't remember her name. And I hate it. Has fucking deckled edges, so I can't flip through it easily. And it's frustrating. Can't stand deckled edges.
I don't know what the girl's name was, but I remember like here goes the chapter.
It's literally like right at part 2 or something, or year 2. I just can't find it at the moment. But it's bothering me that I don't know her name. But yeah, there was no indication that they were in a relationship
at all. Yeah.
And even if they signed waivers, were they thoroughly informed beforehand? Yeah, I don't think there was a single debriefing moment in this bitch. Like, I don't. Oh wait, no, it wasn't year 2. I don't know. Honestly, if anyone remembers the bitch's name, let us know.
Right.
I remember in her interviews, they were being very vague and saying it wasn't exactly a school and were avoiding her questions. I don't remember her interviews at all, to be honest.
Was it Anna? No.
It doesn't sound right. I don't know why it's bothering me so much. I'm like pressed. Like, I need to know. The Midsummer Vibes, yes. Yeah, I like that movie a lot. I thought it was adult. Yeah. apparently, which doesn't make sense now that we're talking about it, because like everyone was, well, I guess college technically. It was like new adult.
Yeah, it read white to me. I mean, outside of the drinking and the sleeping around, like it just it reads young, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then the whole baby thing didn't help. So
no, it's Yaya that got married.
okay, see, that was my initial
Diego and Yaya Osman.
That was my initial thought. Okay, but then I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense. I thought it was Yaya.
And then Yaya said something along the lines of like they're moving to California and they're going to go to a bunch of parties and sleep with a bunch of guys.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so and she was like, "You're married." And she was like, "Yeah, that's what we're gonna do."
Yeah, I was I was like, are they being forced into this for some reason? But apparently it was voluntary. I don't know anything, but I liked it.
Right.
I kind of assumed that no one knew any of the weird stuff happening in the school before coming, especially with that whole debunked study thing. Yeah. I don't think
articles of like, and as you know, she kept trying to go back and reference the articles that she read in the past, but she kept forgetting of like people being experimented on, people dying inside the Cathryn house. Also, parents being outraged that their kids are not coming home. You know, and you still want to go, like, okay.
And it's called Cathryn House. It's not called Cathryn Academy or school or whatever. Like, I don't know. Literally from the start, should have been a red flag. I would read her other books. I think I liked it a lot more than other people. Honestly, I would give her another try. Just to see what else she could put out after this weird ass, like what else her brain could come up with.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, the only thing that I've heard about Cathryn House is that a lot of people did not like it and have DNF'd it. There was a lot of criticism with the Cathryn House, from my understanding. But sometimes, I mean, I'm not saying her writing was definitely really good. You know, again, I felt like I was there. I felt like everything was so descriptive. The criticism will just make her next book even better. That's how I look at it. So
yeah, I could see it. Yeah, I feel like if I only had it physically, it would have been a low 3. The audiobook definitely helped. And that's rare for me to say, like, with audiobooks. I'm not usually an audiobook girly. Her day job too. Theo failed us, LOL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just feel like characters kept coming out of nowhere too. Yeah. I don't know if it was me, but Theo was cute from her eyes, which kind of just showed how blind we can be over average boys.
Damn.
That's not how I thought that sentence was gonna end. I thought it was gonna, like, circle back to like the trance and stuff, but
right.
That's funny. He sold her body to science. Rude.
I mean, he really did.
Still a better love story than Twilight. I think it was just to be silly and have a party like they were getting married as friends. Oh. That is understandable.
Okay.
Also, who facilitated this wedding? Like,
yeah.
Actually, though, like, how would it be official now that I think about it?
Good point. Where's the marriage license? You know what I'm saying? None of that happened. Then towards the end of the semester when they were graduating, I remember there was a part where she kept saying how Diego was crying because he was no longer going to be able to be with this professor. And so, or whoever he was sleeping with, and how they're going to be apart. And so, like, and it was such a last minute thing. Like, yeah, I think it was just a party. That's a good point.
And then at the very end, I just want to know, like, everyone's interpretation of the ending. Like, why was she on this truck? Like, so she didn't stay at Cathryn House.
Yes, right.
She didn't do the damn thing. She's on this truck. Where the fuck is she going? I didn't know. It reminded me of, like, Handmaid's Tale when they just took them in trucks.
Yeah, and just come and dropped them off somewhere. I have no idea. I have no fucking idea. All we know is that she kept going in and out of daydreaming or dreaming. Who fucking knows? You know, was thinking about some shit, and then the doors open, and then what?
I was fully ready for it to be one of those books that are like, oh, it was all a dream.
It was all a dream. I was hoping for that. Like, I was really hoping that, you know, this whole ride of her leaving in a truck and laying down, changing clothes was all just like a dream that she was having in the tower.
Nope. But alas. It didn't make sense to me why they went either. Like, it had red flag written all over it, but I guess everyone was desperate. Yeah, I think that was the point, is that everyone would just like rather escape their shitty lives and go to this unknown entity of a house.
Right.
Just for a sense of like accomplishment, adventure, whatever, purpose. Definitely would give the author another try. The writing was beautiful, and it's a first novel. I could see her second book be better. Yeah, first novel. When was this written? Like 2021, 2020?
Yeah.
Come on, Elizabeth.
I think again, the issues that people did have with her writing or with the storytelling would be make her book better. It was published in 2020.
Yeah. Elizabeth Thomas grew up in Brooklyn, where she still lives and now writes. She graduated from Yale. Currently works as an archivist for a modern art museum. There you go. She does have a day job.
Yeah. I knew it.
I felt like they didn't actually get married. Like, it was just for fun and not real. Okay, this all makes sense now. That part at least feels answered. I'm satisfied with this conclusion. Yaya set up the getaway with the truck driver. Oh!
Yeah, set that up. Because she says something, he's like, I worked for the school for 27 years and I don't want to be here anymore either. And she was like, I love Yaya too. I'm like, that was a weird response, but
okay, then maybe I rushed the ending too much because I missed the part. Yeah. She was on the truck because she was escaping. She was going to already return my copy to the library. Yaya and Ness had a plan after graduation. That's where she was going. They had a plan? I thought Yaya had a plan with Diego.
Yeah, and she was supposed to come with, right? They were talking about going to LA right after their wedding, but then they started talking about moving to New York.
Oh yes, I remember the New York thing. Yeah.
When she handed her that New York card with a note on it, I'm sure that's when the details of the plan were on the card.
Okay, yes, I remember this New York conversation because she's like, I want to be where everybody is.
Yeah.
And Inez was like, I don't want to be around people.
At all.
The supply truck guy was helping her escape. But okay, this is definitely like reminding me of Handmaid's Tale now. Have you seen the show or just read the book?
I think I seen the first season and that was it.
Okay, yeah. I think it might have been the second season about the scene that I'm thinking of specifically. I wanted to know if the door was ever even locked or if they just made her believe it was. Oh.
So yeah, because she was trying to unlock the door and she was able to pull it open. And then she's like, was the door always locked? And then she just, changed scenes. And she's
because of course she did. But that's interesting. That would be so fucked.
That would be so fucked up.
I mean, it wouldn't be too far-fetched either at this point.
Yeah.
The ending deficits exactly. I figured she was just trying to escape because the dean wouldn't have let her reject the plasma concentration. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. Mm-hmm. Like, because there was never a clear rejection, really. Like, she never talked to to Victoria again, right?
Nope.
About like
she was just waiting on her. It seemed like the way that I took that whole scene with her being in the tower and not being let go, like a whole semester is a very long time. Usually, I mean, prior, she spent a week in the tower. I think it was someone else spent 2 weeks in the tower. So, like, a whole semester, that's several months. And so I think they were just waiting for her to accept the concentration. And she wasn't, because she eventually gave in to the plasma, and then she was released from the tower. So I took it as her waiting as well, as Victoria waiting to let her go in order for her to she has to accept the concentration. But
Yeah, that makes sense.
Who knows? Because that's so long, like months.
I know. You were already there for 3 years. Like, you haven't had enough. Like, that's just wild to me. I don't know.
It's insane.
Never. I thought she would never leave the tower. Kind of like that was the way school made her disappear.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't picture the tower. Like, that was probably the least. Well, you know me, I'm bad at visualizing things, but like, I think I just blacked out that whole tower scene.
Yeah.
Portion of the book, I guess. Baby spent 2 weeks, which now makes me think, did it take her that long to accept?
Right.
Spent 2 weeks
in the tower. That's who spent. So Inez spent a week in the tower, and when she was able to leave, it's because she has accepted the pens, and so Baby was in there for 2 weeks. But then they announced after 2 weeks that she was dead, and it probably took her those 2 weeks to finally accept being part of the experiment.
So Inez would have died.
Yeah, she would have died according to her friends. Like they would have told her like, "Oh, Inez died," but she really would have accepted the experiment.
Wow. There we go. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's all starting to connect now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just so creepy. And what the fuck is the experiment? Like we still don't know.
Yeah, we'll do final thoughts. Yeah. I don't know. Imagine
what happened at the end. Like, what do you think?
I had no thoughts. I was just like, I was trying to process ever since I closed the book. No. All I could think was Handmaid's Tale, and I was like, okay, what happened? Why was she bleeding? I was so pressed about her bleeding. Like, why didn't we get an explanation? How about you? What do you think?
I don't even know if the scene of her leaving actually truly happened, because then what? She was in and out of consciousness of daydreaming. But if it did happen, it mentions steady footsteps. I think she would have gotten caught. So I mean, that's just an assumption. Like the doors open, but those steady footsteps remind me of Victoria.
Okay, yeah, and footsteps crunched against gravel. Yeah. She also needed to pee, so that would have been
yeah.
That would have been another issue.
Yeah.
I did like the choppiness of all the sentences though. I just wish the narrator didn't pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ending, I was just like, that's it. I don't even know.
I was like, that can't be it. What? What? Whose footsteps? I want to
know. Imagine if there were a sequel. I just don't know. The Rory Power blurbed it in the. Did you read Wilder Girls? I haven't read that one yet.
I have not.
Apparently another weird one. But where are we? What genre would you place this book in? Honestly, I couldn't say it felt like horror or thriller to me. I landed on sci-fi, but that's not even listed on Goodreads. I was thinking like sci-fi horror, but I don't know. I didn't see thriller at all. Gothic, yeah. It says fiction, mystery, horror, thriller, gothic, mystery, thriller, adults.
Yeah, I would definitely put it in more mystery than anything, for sure.
Gothic, sci-fi, horror, I feel like. Just because of the experiment.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I felt a little horror-esque.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Literary horror?
In the house. You're in the house. Near the house. I mean, those. Oh God, I was eating those up. I was eating it up. I was like, yes, you're all in the house. No, I mean, people wanted to come to Cathryn's house, but didn't get accepted. You guys are here. You're in.
You're in.
You're in. You're in that house.
I was so salty she left saying she wasn't going to expose them because she thought the school was beautiful and always be hers. Like,
Yes.
I was like, get it together. I was like, wake the fuck up, Inez. I feel like she escaped and never looked back. Maybe Aya tried to expose what was going on there like a baddie. Imagine. Imagine if it ended like with, you know, those books that end with like an article like Cathryn House.
Right.
House. She said Victoria wouldn't come after her because she knew she wouldn't spill the secrets and that someone else would. When did she say that?
Yeah, when she was escaping, she did say that. When she was escaping, she was like, I wouldn't tell on Victoria or the Cathryn House, but she did mention that someone would tell.
Oh yeah, definitely Yaya then. I could see it. Loved Wilder Girls. I feel like this is my vibe of book. Weird book. Psychological horror. There's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna copy Kayla and ask if there are any like books or movies that you would recommend if you like this. I mean, we talked about a few of them, like Bunny. I think you would like Bunny if you like this book for sure. And then Midsummer, the movie. Goodreads had like, if you like this, recommendations. All of them were weird. All my weirdo books. There you go. Yeah. How about you, Bree? Do you have any recs? Similar things? No.
I don't know what I can think of.
Do you like weird books? Is this like your type of book or?
Yes. I do enjoy weird books. There's a book called what is it called? The Betrayals. It's set in a school that it has this mystery of this rat, and you don't know. It's set in UK. Well, you don't necessarily even know where it's at until you look it up. But it's called The Betrayals. It's by Bridget Collins. It does leave you with questions, but you get the answers at the end of the book, and it comes to
cover is stunning.
Yeah, I felt the book was so whimsical, and the writing was amazing. I always tell this story when I was reading the book. I was listening to the audio, and I like missed my exit because I was so just involved and just entranced in this book. But it's in an academic setting as well. There's I don't want to give any details, but there's something that happens that they are going through, and it is several years within the book as well. And then you find out at the end of the book, everything comes together, and it was great.
I love that. Okay, okay, this cover. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, okay. Definitely on my want to read now. Fantasy, historical fiction, romance.
Yeah, it's definitely more romance and historical.
Nice. I've never heard about this book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go, everybody. Never Let Me Go. Yeah, people on my Discord was talking about this. We're talking about this too. Never Let Me Go. I need to read that. It's on my little scratch off poster. People kept seeing similarities. But okay, that's all from me. That was fun. That was fun. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Go subscribe to Bree Cherie if you haven't already, and watch her sprints if you want to be productive. She does them often, because I know I don't on YouTube. So sprints, there you go. Adds to TBR, exactly. All right. Thanks everyone for chatting about this confusing book. Next month we're going to be reading Wayward with Steph from Stephanie Bookish, and the live show is July 2nd, one day before the full moon, because work.
Right.
And time zones. So yeah. All right. Bye everyone. Oh my God, I almost left the studio. This always happens.
Bye.